Hey everybody, I'm Jack Reed with Future Pastimes, and I'm the designer of the Ecaz and Moritani expansion, third expansion for the classic Dune board game, the 2019 edition from Gale Force 9. And this expansion includes, among other things, 3 new Treachery cards. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the card Reinforcements. With the addition of these 3 cards, if you are also using the 14 cards from the first expansion, Icens and Tleilaxu, it will bring your Treachery deck up to 50 cards. Of course, not counting the 10 cards that Richesse has in the second expansion, Showman Richesse, but those don't start in the Treachery deck. They get added to the game, 1 card per turn. So, the 3 new Treachery cards are all specials. They're green cards that have a one-time use and then they're discarded. And reinforcements like Harass and Withdraw are battle plan cards. So they get played in your battle plan in lieu of a weapon or a defense. So let's take a look at what Reinforcements does, why it was designed, and any other things I can think about. So this is played, as I said, as part of your battle plan in place of a weapon or defense. It's going to add 2 to your number dialed, and then you have to send 3 forces from your reserves to the Tleilaxu tanks. You may not use this card if you do not have at least 3 forces in your reserves. Discard after use. So this is going to be giving you a +2. It's a surprise +2 that most of the time other players are not going to have any idea that you're going to be able to do. So a lot of times what's happening in a battle is you look at the number of forces. That's public information. You know how many forces you have and how many your opponent has. You know what they can dial. You know what their maximum dial is, even in advanced, if they're using all the spice to get a maximum number. So that is a known quantity. You also know the value of all of their leaders. So you know what the highest number can be, and you kind of work from there as you're trying to figure out, can I kill your leader? Or if I can't kill your leader and I can't guarantee that my leader is safe, you still have an idea of what those numbers are, what you need to dial in order to win in those circumstances. So I wanted to have something that can shake that up a little bit, another X factor, and that is Reinforcements. That +2, it's something that players can start to always factor in. But because it's only 1 card, most of the time players are not going to factor in, or they're going to play the odds and say, oh, you probably don't have that card. Now, in many games, there will be a certain level of card knowledge. So some players may know who has it, or they may know that it's out there, somebody has it. But then again, most of the time players are not. So I like that little bit of surprise. It does have a cost though, so those reinforcements that are coming in are basically sacrificing themselves. Now, what's important to understand is that that +2 to the dial doesn't mean that you then have to lose 2 additional forces. It's really +2 to the overall battle strength, but there are, and there may be more effects that want to know what is your number dialed. And so this adding to the 2 means that number ultimately is going to be higher for any effect that is looking for what is the number dialed. So just keeping that in mind, that's how that works. Now, this is a card that's going to go into the battle plan. Does that mean that the Bene Gesserit can use the voice to compel you to play it or prevent you from playing it? Absolutely. Same thing with Harass and Withdraw. Why not? Yes, it's a special card. They have to name it. They have to say you must play Reinforcements or you may not play Reinforcements. So factor that in when you're dealing with the Bene Gesserit. But that does mean that you're now free to use whatever weapons and defenses that you want. So the Bene Gesserit really have to weigh all the possibilities and what they think the biggest threat is whenever they get into a battle. Now, this card was inspired by a similar card in Dune Conquest, or Movie Dune as we sometimes call it, which is the streamlined version of Dune that we designed a couple of years ago. It's for 2 to 4 players, and it has a lot of overlap with a classic Dune, and especially the battle system, but there's quite a bit different. It really is a standalone game. It's a very different experience. It's played in usually under an hour. And one of the new cards that we wanted to add to that was Reinforcements. Now, that version of Reinforcements doesn't have any cost associated with it. You just get the +2. So this one is a little bit different, but Classic Dune is a much harsher, more brutal, cutthroat game, and that Arrakis is less forgiving than the one in Dune Conquest. So that was why this was added in as part of the effect on there. So again, when you're getting into a battle, if you're doing all the calculations and trying to ensure that you have the total that you need and what you need to dial to guarantee the win, you can always get an eye on how many reinforcements that they have. If they don't have enough, then you know that you're safe from reinforcements. But if they do have at least 3 forces, because that's what the cost, you got to have 3 forces, otherwise you can't use this card. And that means that if you don't have enough forces in your reserves in the Bene Gesserit, say you must play this card. You don't get to play this card. They can't compel you to do it because you're not allowed to if you don't have the reserves for it. So hopefully that will get ahead of any questions that anybody has. But if you do have questions, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of this card. I like there being another card in the deck that can be used in a battle plan. That's not just another weapon or even a special weapon. This is a special effect, which again, I think is good to mix things up, keep everybody on their toes. You still can have some surprises. There's no foregone conclusions in battling on Dune. Of course, traders have always made that true, but I like having another layer on there. It's only 3 new Treachery cards, so it's pretty manageable. Yeah, if you've had a chance to see it, did it do what it was supposed to do? Did it surprise people? Did it give somebody the win when you thought, oh no, I thought I had this in the bag, and you had +2. So you were able to scratch out victory when everyone assumed that you were going to lose, which I think is very thematic to Dune. So that's reinforcements. Let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.